people tuning in. I am Lydia Odije Ochi.
Ignatius Nkwo for Deadline 360.
In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karaye, Deadline 360.
A closer system of government to the people over the years, observers say, has been involved in several.
The Gbagi Adorable Marriage Festival remains a sacred obligation.
For Deadline 360, Justina Etam. Efik language, otherwise known as Iko Efik, is a native language of...
Thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi.
Hello, it's a warm welcome to Sports Ray, reaching live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Gift George.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, Nigeria. Welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madujemu. It's always a pleasure to host you every Sunday at this hour. Today is World Hepatitis Day. We have a comprehensive report on the dreaded disease. Our first segment is also a celebration of iconic figures. Ladies first, of course. You will be meeting the #1 female professor in northern Nigeria. and the landmark celebration of the first executive governor of Nigeria's commercial capital. Going with the flow of things, some senior citizens were honored and feted by people who appreciate their worth in the society. The jollification continues through to the second segment with exciting interludes of events. Then a bit of reality check will happen in the last segment. A sad story about a woman who committed suicide and the mystery surrounding her decision. Let's begin with the news, shall we? And Elizabeth Amori is the anchor. Happy Sunday, Lizzie.
The presidency says proscription of Islamic movement of Nigeria has nothing to do with banning the larger number of peaceful and law-abiding Shiites in the country from practicing their religion. Instead, it was to discourage wanton violence, murder, and willful destruction of public and private property. Motorcycles, 20 handsets were recovered from the criminals. Leader of the group, who hails from Delta State, is said to serve as medical aid to of the group, providing medical assistance to the wounded bandits. He was said to have confessed to treating the pregnant wife of one of them, who is still at large. The Nigerian Army promises to continue the onslaught against the bandits while asking the general public to provide credible information on suspicious activities of persons or groups to security agencies. In the meantime, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has visited Gajaram town to sympathize with the families of those who lost their lives when gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram attacked Bado village in Ganzai local government area of Borno State. Mohammed Goni reports.
Governor Babagana Umara had, while condoling the bereaved families, assured to investigate the incident and provide continued support to the families.
We personally came here to condole them. I sincerely sympathize with the families, and may Almighty Allah in His infinite wisdom admit them to Jannatul Firdaus, and may the families bear the fortitude of this irreparable loss.
While in Gajiram, Professor Babagana Umara met with the security operatives and the council chairman behind closed doors. The attack on Badu village, according to the council chairman Mohamed Bulama, came 2 weeks after a similar attack on the community by suspected Boko Haram members, but were repelled with the combined efforts of the residents, civilian JTF as well as hunters, killing 10 members of the insurgents and seized 10 AK-47 rifles belonging to them and handed over same to the police. Residents of Badu, who spoke to NTA News, appealed for deployment of more security personnel to the area to forestall future occurrence. Badu village is situated 25 kilometers in the hinterland away from Gajiram, headquarters of the local government. Governor Babagana Umara also sympathized with victims of Badu attack at Maiduguri Specialist Hospital, where he assured them of government's support. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the establishment of a National Action Committee for implementation of African Continental Free Trade Area. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the committee is made up of representatives of ministries and agencies with competent and relevant jurisdiction and selected stakeholder group from the private sector and the civil society. The statement says the National Action Committee will undertake a process of engagement with stakeholders to sensitize them on the opportunities and challenges of the AFCFTA with plans for Nigerian economy. Upon ratification, Nigeria will domesticate the agreement by incorporating it into existing laws or enacting new laws as appropriate. The President also approved sustaining the trade reforms as ECOWAS, including the establishment of a common trade policy, improving the operation and welfare gains from the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme, and establishment of an ECOWAS peer review and audit mechanism, as well as establishing and championing programs at AU-AFCFTA. This is with a view to resolving the critical continental level challenges to the success of the AFCFTA, including smuggling, abuse of rule of origin, low production and service capacities, poor infrastructure, and revenue loss. To other matters now, the House of Representatives had a committee set up to investigate the alleged pipeline explosion in Kunkum and Izwoma communities of Oyibo local government area of Rivers State, has visited the affected areas for an on-the-spot assessment of the incident. This is with a view to unraveling facts behind the mishap that resulted in the loss of lives and property. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the findings of the HADA committee will be employed in line of action to forestall future occurrence.
Destiny Ukeze is one of the survivors of the alleged pipeline explosion at Konkom and Izoma communities of Oyimbo local government area of Rivers State in June this year. The visit by the House of Representatives ad hoc committee to the communities may have brought hope and succor to Destiny Ukeze and the likes who may have suffered similar situation. How much more for the families of those who have lost their loved ones in the incident.
Over 100 and something persons is losing their life here. People who came in that early morning to tap Tombo, people came to farm. People, some houses are cracked. We are peaceful people and we are gentlemen and we want peace to reign and want something to be done.
I know quite well that all the institutions and agencies that are involved in this will interface and engage them, and will tell you that at the end of the day, we'll get to the end of this. Not for now alone, so that in future such things will not happen.
I believe that justice will be done, whether it is vandalization, whether it is rupture or negligence on the part of the operators. That will be determined through the investigation of this committee. Thank God the Senate is also involved in this matter.
Now that attention of the federal government is being drawn to the plight of the affected persons, the traditional ruler, His Royal Majesty Eze Stephanus Nweke, and other members of the community blamed the incident on nonchalant attitude on the part of oil companies operating in the area and demanded adequate compensation and improvement on infrastructure to cushion the effect.
The people of Oyibo and our area have suffered neglect.
Following motion of urgent public importance by Representative Chisom Dike from the area, the ad hoc committee was given 4 weeks to carry out the investigation and report back to the House for further legislative action. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is seeking collaboration with Chevron Nigeria Limited on the establishment of a condensate splinter refinery. The group managing director of the NNPC, Mele Kyari, made the request during a meeting with the managing director of Chevron Nigeria Limited, Jeff Ewing, in Abuja. A statement by the group general manager, public affairs of the NNPC, Undu Uhamadu, quotes Mr. Mele Kyari is as desirous of Chevron and NNPC working together to build a new refinery that would increase oil production and end fuel importation in Nigeria.
For 2 reasons. One is that they're one of the most efficient partners that we have.
We've worked very well with NNPC for many years, and so our plan is to continue the great relationship we have with NNPC.
The final investment decision on the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Train 7 project would soon be taken by the two corporations and other partners. And still in partnership, Yobe State Government, in partnership with the Nigeria Shippers Council, is to embark on the construction of Trailer Park and Mechanic Village in Potoskum Town, the most populous and cosmopolitan area in Yobe State. Governor Mai Mala Boni disclosed this during his maiden town hall meeting with stakeholders of the local government. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports that approval has been granted and already 50 hectares of land has been allocated for the projects.
The town hall meeting with political stakeholders, market groups, transporters union, farmers association, and community opinion leaders in particular local government is an avenue created by Governor Mai Mala Boni to freely hear from the people by way of exchange of ideas. Governor Boni told the gathering that as chairman of Nigerian Shippers Council, he has already directed the council to liaise with relevant stakeholders to allocate suitable land for the planned construction of Trailer Park and Mechanic Village. Already, a 50-hectare land was secured, and very soon the project will commence a development the governor and stakeholders believe will provide employment opportunities, reduce poverty, and create wealth to hundreds of residents and beyond. This is the first time town hall meeting with a sitting governor in Potoskum Town, something which was appreciated by the stakeholders. In Damaturu, I am Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
In also religious matters, tens of thousands of Nigerians take part in the annual Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. In this report, Lami Ali takes a look at some reforms put in place by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to enable pilgrims carry out the religious exercise with ease.
Nigeria is among the top 10 countries in the world and the second in Africa, with the highest number of citizens that travel to Saudi Arabia each year for the pilgrimage. Finding the kind of food the Nigerian pilgrims are accustomed to is the challenge they confront, which was why the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria decided to engage certified caterers that provide breakfast and dinner to the pilgrims daily throughout their stay in Saudi.
The food is actually made according to the culture of our state.
In the morning they brought chips and tea and milk. Everything was there in the morning. And now they brought tuwo and miang kubewa.
As the French would say, bon appetit, enjoy your meal. In Medina, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And as the world marks Hepatitis Day, funding hepatitis testing and treatment services as part of universal health coverage is a cost-effective investment that health experts want continuous public enlightenment at all levels of government on precautionary measures and financial commitment. Here is a report on efforts by the World Health Organization to eliminate the disease by the year 2030.
Hepatitis is a viral disease transmitted through ingestion of contaminated food and water, or through direct contact with an infected person. It could be self-limiting or progresses to cirrhosis. There are 5 types of hepatitis, namely A, B, C, D, and E.
Things like unsafe injections, scarifications with unsafe equipment, mother to child, unsafe sex. So these are for B and C. So we find that and C is more so than B, really transmitted through blood, and that's why you find its prevalence highest in people who inject drugs.
These are of great concern because of the burden of illness and death.
For A and E, since the epidemic, really the main management is to make sure that there's a safe water and a safe sanitation, and also for those who become sick to manage them conservatively to make sure that they don't develop into really those sort of acute fulminant hepatitis. For B and C, the management is different. B has a vaccine, so the bigger part of B is to make sure that children are vaccinated. Then for C, there's no vaccine, but there's a cure. So it's to make sure that people are identified early.
Considering the danger inherent in hepatitis, efforts are being intensified by various key players in the health sector. and one of such is the World Health Organization. In spite of the availability of diagnostic tools and effective treatment, statistics by the World Health Organization reveal that less than 1 in 10 of the 71 million people with hepatitis B and C in Africa have access to testing, while more than 200,000 people die each year due to complications.
Countries should invest in hepatitis B vaccination and integrate hepatitis interventions as part of health system strengthening. This includes building on existing laboratory capacities for HIV and TB, embedding hepatitis surveillance in the National Health Information System,
reduction in the cost of diagnostics and medicines by pharmaceutical companies, and collaborative efforts by researchers to promote innovation towards a cure for hepatitis B and vaccine for hepatitis C. The World Health Organization believes will go a long way in eliminating the disease.
And report just reaching us says President Muhammadu Buhari strongly condemns the dastardly attack on a funeral procession in Maiduguri, Borno State, causing the death of tens of mourners. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the President has received assurances from the armed forces that the terrorists who committed these killings will pay for their action. The federal government is firmly and resolutely committed to taking all necessary measures to safeguard the nation's security. This administration is determined to end the menace of terrorism, said the President. Already, a major exercise has begun to hunt down the attackers with air patrols by the nation's Air Force and ground operations by the Army. The President assures the residents of Maiduguri and the citizens settled in IDP camps that they will receive increased protection from further attacks by the assailants. And out to sports. Kano Pillars on Sunday evening defeated Niger Tornadoes of Minna 4-3 on penalties to win the 2019 Aicho Cup competition. The match was played at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna, with regulation time ending goalless. A winner had earlier emerged in the women's game. Amanzi Marcus has details on sports updates.
Nasarawa Amazons Football Club of Lafia on Sunday emerged champions of the 2019 ITO Women's Cup competition. They defeated Rivers Angels 5-4 on penalties after a goalless regulation time at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna. Team Nigeria at the first Africa Cup Track Championship in Abuja have continued to hold sway in all events. As at the time of filing this report on day 3 of the championship, Team Nigeria have 14 gold, 14 silver and 4 bronze medals, while Team Egypt are second with 5 gold, 4 silver and 5 bronze medals.
It is a new event which is created in Nigeria for the first edition, and I hope to be also the next year the second edition to be in Nigeria.
Nigeria have more medals to bring to Nigeria.
The Athletics Federation of Nigeria weekend released a list of 51 athletes to represent Nigeria in 19 events at the August 19 to 31 African Games in Morocco. The list was released on conclusion of the 3-day All Nigeria Athletics Championships, which ended on Saturday at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna. Chef de mission to the 12th African Games, Al-Hassan Yakmut, was Director General of the National Sports Commission when Nigeria placed second at the 2015 Games in Congo-Brazzaville.
My message to the athletes is that this is their own generational change that they should bring by ensuring that they make history by coming overall first in the 12th edition of the All Africa Games coming up in Morocco, and I want them to be committed, dedicated.
We want to keep our sports clean. That means no drugs. We have very good coaches on ground that are training them. Put a lot of effort in the training. I can tell you with that too, we'll do very well.
My performance is to go there to win and bring back the gold medal and make sure I beat the record there before coming back.
4 Moroccan cities will host the games, with athletics having Rabat, the Moroccan capital, as venue. With sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Let's now take a quick look at the weather picture for tomorrow, Monday.
Welcome to the weather forecast. Morning rains are expected over the coastal region, extending up to Akure, Osogbo, Ibadan, and Abeokuta, with thunderstorms over high grounds of the central and the northeastern region, while the remaining parts of the country is expected to be cloudy. With continuous influx of moisture into the country, the afternoon and evening hours holds better prospects for rainfall activities as we anticipate thunder with rains over Sokoto, Yelwa, Katsina, Gusau, the central cities, with moderate rains over the south. For the temperatures across some selected cities, do stand by.
And that ends the news segment of Newsline. We apologize for the technical hitch at the beginning of the program. Let's take a break now. Becca will be back shortly.
Follow!
Kitty, kitty. Oh, baby. Leave him. He doesn't want overripe things. Dudu by nature. Black is beautiful. Oh, talk to the hand. The baby is black. Ask her. Uche, quickly send me the baby video.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, he's playing. Oh, my goodness. He's loving it. Oh, thank you. Welcome. Bye.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
Welcome to the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services Farmers Helpline.
Have you heard? There's a center to cater for all the needs of farmers and farming businesses in Nigeria. An information center with the sole objective of helping the farmers to increase agricultural productivity and profit. It is a place with the best crop of scientists and extension workers in the country.
Thank you for calling National Farmers Helpline.
This center is the federal government strategy to empower farmers with quality information, and it is located at the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services, Zaria. Call National Farmers Helpline today on 081-3989-0090 from Mondays to Fridays between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. The National Farmers Helpline Center, the solution center for Nigerian agriculture.
My tasty jollof queen. #1 jollof chef.
When you start like this, I know it's jollof you want.
I know you're tired, dear, but please.
My husband deserves the best jollof. Yay! And so do my kids.
Yeah, Mom.
Not necessary, dear. I have all the pepper, onion, thyme, curry powder, garlic, ginger, and tomatoes I need in here. Welcome to the new way of making tasty jollof with no stress at all.
All I do is pour my oil, add Tasty Tom jollof mix, fry for 4 minutes, and add water, some salt and seasoning, and finally rice.
And my tasty jollof is ready in only 45 minutes.
So tasty. And for my jollof queen.
Tasty Tom jollof mix. No stress.
More jollof.
New Tasty Tom jollof mix.
Dear Mommy, you went out that night with the baby in your tummy, but you did not come back. The baby is very fine and she eats and sleeps a lot. Everyone says that you are in a better place, but I miss you so much. I keep asking them, where is the better place? But nobody answers me. Auntie Kemi just hugs me and says, go and play. Mommy, I miss you. Please, when are you coming home?
I still do miss you, Mom. And in honor of your memory, I'm a doctor today working with the MTN Foundation to save mothers and children every day.
Ending mother and child mortality in Nigeria is dear to us. We will keep strengthening this most important bond just for you.
taste the real chicken.
Real chicken. Don't worry, Abba. It's not your chicken.
It's the Sedap Supreme Chicken Essence that gives it the supreme chicken taste. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it. And as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource. Glow and Maple. Get 5 times recharge with *555* PIN hash.
Make I sell my market finish first, eh? I will call you back. Oh.
Unlimited.
Thanks for staying with us. Viral hepatitis, experts say, is one of the biggest global health threats, with about 1.34 million deaths annually. The virus, which is highly contagious, is most prevalent in Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark Hepatitis Day, Hingino John Adams examines the issues around eliminating hepatitis.
Hepatitis, an inflammation of the liver, is a silent killer. It has led many to their early graves, and the narrative still remains the same, as studies by the World Health Organization and other relevant bodies show that out of about 325 million people living with viral hepatitis globally, more than 290 million are either undiagnosed or untreated. That is why 28th of July has been set aside as World Hepatitis Day to raise awareness on the dangers of the disease and, most importantly, to find the missing millions to offer them proper treatment. The theme for this year's celebration is Invest in Eliminating Hepatitis. Statistics reveal that about 26 million Nigerians are living with the virus, and the death rate stands at 200,000 annually. Let's take a sample to find out whether Nigerians really know their status.
I don't know my hepatitis status, and I heard it's normal for us to know it, but I don't know it. Maybe I'll check that next time.
I have never done it. And I don't know about it. And I don't even know where they are doing it.
I've never done it before, and secondly, I don't know how to go through it.
Hepatitis can lead to liver cancer, and there are 5 types, namely hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. Basi George, a medical doctor, sheds more light.
And some of these viruses that affect the liver are actually preventable, especially the hepatitis B. And funny enough too, it's also the hepatitis virus that has one of the worst consequences, as in if poorly treated or ignored, or even when treated and not completely abated, can result in further life-threatening conditions or complications. Some we call the fulminant hepatitis with hepatic encephalopathy. That's fulminant hepatitis means that the whole liver is completely overwhelmed by the infection and hope of recovering is not there.
The World Health Organization says $58.7 billion is needed to eliminate the disease by 2030, which is a public health threat in 67 low and middle-income countries, and Nigeria is one, thereby calling on such countries to invest in eliminating hepatitis.
Yes, 2 issues to note. Hepatitis can be prevented and it can also be managed. There is a popular saying that what a man can do, a woman can do better. And so she took the bull by the horn and made history as a first female professor in her chosen field from the north. Tina Toro was at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, to capture the celebration of an Amazon for her feats in academics and broadcasting.
Stand up for the champion indeed. And if you are wondering who this champion is, she is Professor Ladi Sandra Adamu Pangshin, the first female professor of broadcasting in northern Nigeria, a feat she achieved through sheer hard work and determination.
And she gave me that bedrock of hard work, so I found it as a challenge, to be in the classroom. It hasn't been easy,
The luncheon in her honor was a convergence of friends, family members, colleagues, and well-wishers. Among them, representatives of the Emir of Zazzau, Dr. Shehu Idris, and Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who showered encomiums on the celebrant.
We get on very well with her, and what I know of her, she's a very committed, dedicated scholar.
She has a lot of work to do, and most especially training our young ones.
But when she was given this professorship, was particularly in the area of broadcasting. So that is why you see there is a need to understand her position.
She's very disciplined, straight to her words.
I believe that she's going to still go very far because she is relentless. She will inspire many of these women.
She's the bridge builder between industry and academic environment.
Being a seasoned broadcaster, she was surrounded by colleagues in the broadcast industry. Director General of the NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, and his counterpart, Dr. Mansour Liman of FRCN, were ably represented, among others, who urged the professor to bring her experience to bear towards repositioning the broadcast industry in Nigeria.
The feat she achieved will ginger other people, will ginger our ladies, women journalists in northern Nigeria, this part of the country.
It is my prayer and hope and wish that parents will give necessary encouragement, not only parents, even government.
Ladi is a quintessential broadcaster, a print journalist, and a journalist trainer.
Professor Ladi Sandra Adamu Pangshin will no doubt remain an inspiration to many young women out there.
Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is.
Was a spectacular way to celebrate a great woman whose name has been written in gold. It had a clear focus, including proffering solutions to the then prevalent narrative that the indigenous population of Lagos was educationally backward. To bridge that gap, he conceived the establishment of the Lagos State University, among several projects, particularly housing projects. All these accomplishments are still standing till date, a legacy to a great man. I'm talking about the first elected executive governor of Lagos State, Lateef Jakonde, who was recently celebrated in Lagos as he clocked 90. Annie Daniels witnessed the event.
Gently, he was aided into the reception hall, with guests from all walks of life who gathered to celebrate him, some eagerly waiting to have a glimpse of him. Now seated. And guess what? His love for his people and nation at large is still very visible, as demonstrated by the movement of his hands, in consonance with the national anthem. I'm sure you know who he is by now, and in case you are still guessing, he is Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakonde, the first civilian executive governor of Lagos State. It was indeed homecoming for LKJ, as he is popularly called. Did I forget to tell you that the event was all about his 90th birthday celebration and that the venue was the main auditorium of the Lagos State University, Ojo? The man Jakonde, highly revered not just in Lagos, but nationally, is a shining example of what public service represents, judging by his accomplishments.
This is a legend of ideas, a man who made history. 4 decades ago, this man conceived of the idea of a university, and he signed the bill into law that established this great institution. Today, all of us are beneficiaries of what he has done.
It remains a reference point in contemporary Nigerian politics, and nobody can discuss modern politics without a reference to his own period. That is, for only 51 months, he achieved all he did, transforming the society. And
we must think and believe that we are going to make sure to improve the quality of lives of people. By doing that, time will tell us exactly what our known achievement will have been.
To further appreciate him, the university he founded, LASU, has named the longest road on its campus after him, to be known as Dr. Lateef Kayode Jakonde Road.
90 hearty cheers to the celebrant to wish him more years and good health. Remembering the days of yore, some senior citizens in Ibadan and environs came together to have fun, thanks to the Ibadan Network Center of the NTA that provided an opportunity for them to relive their youthful days. Abiola Ogulano picks up the story from here.
It was a moment of joy for the aged in Ibadan at a get-together that brings them to a round table with old friends. There is a saying that said old age is a great time to sit back and enjoy life. But in most cases, reverse is the case. For some, as they suffer from various old age medical ailments, which denied many a better life. To reduce the rate at which elderly people suffer from physical, mental, and emotional disorder at old age, NTA Ibadan organized a free medical check as part of its own social responsibility to the aged.
It is essential that government makes that area of taking care of our people in old age free when it comes to managing their health.
Now, it's the first of its type in Ibadan, but in Yoruba we say gladness is the food of the elderly.
And I wish the NTA to continue as they have promised that they will be doing it on a regular basis.
The celebration brought a lot of good memories, especially with the tune of the music.
So happy, I give thanks to God. I'm so happy that a good thing is happening during my own time.
Many thanks to the NTA Ibadan for putting smiles on the faces of those elders. It was a glorious moment for the NTA as songs of praise were offered to God at the second edition of the NTA Choir Concert that took place at the NTA Arena in Abuja. The theme was aptly Sound His Praise. Ruth Aguela reported different groups across the FCT gathered for a resounding atmosphere of worship.
A memorable day it was as the glorious voices pour out their hearts to God in worship. a colorful day indeed to give God all honor in unity of purpose for our great country, Nigeria. As the choristers did their different renditions, some of the guests could not hold back the joy in worship as they danced to the tune of the music. And it got even more heated up as the New Life for All choir raised the dust as they stamped their feet to the beat of the drum. After much praises were offered for Nigeria to move forward as it is the next level dispensation. In his sermon, Bishop Edwin Joramai urged Christians not to relent in praising God, that with praise as a powerful weapon, Nigeria will surmount all its challenges.
Every enemy of this nation shall be pulled down.
The Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, who was represented by the Executive Director of Programs, Wale Koka, appreciated the dignitaries and the different choirs for honoring NTA with their presence.
The beauty of what we are enjoying here is not something that happens every day. It is our belief that this second edition will heal our land in Jesus' name and enjoy praises to God with the angelic choirs.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, who was represented by the State House Chaplain, Pastor Oluseyi Malomo, acknowledged God's presence in NTA and encouraged Christians not to lose hope in Nigeria.
I'd like to say on behalf of His Excellency, the Vice President, that you will win this second half. Amen. I will also win this second half of the year. And I know that Nigeria herself shall win in all the battles that we are facing.
And the moment came for the presentation of gifts to the Vice President on behalf of the management of NTA and NTA Staff Fellowship.
It was a glorious outing for the second anniversary. Thank you very much.
The Vice President was also conferred as Grand Patron of the NTA Choir, while his wife, Mrs. Dolapo Oshibajo, was honored as Grand Patroness of the NTA Choir. The host choir, NTA, round off the evening in adoration of Hallelujah praises. No better way indeed to sound his praise.
Melodious renditions there. The next edition is bound to be powerful. It's time to pause for a break. Newsline continues after these commercial messages.
You are extraordinary. You always go the extra mile to make sure my breakfast is made with extra nutritious Milo. I want to say a big thank you. You are extra precious and extra super.
Milo is thanking moms for being extraordinary by giving the family an extra 50 grams of delicious Milo for every 500-gram pouch bought. Don't miss out. Offer valid while stocks last.
The sound of your shutter hails you as your flash falls on everyday people. In this country of party and daily blackouts, your camera they snap memories they go. Even though 30 billion not in your account, still you continue to push and believe. And that girl, now you go marry her. That business not go spoil for your hand. Because at Union Bank, there's a loan for everyone. Apply today. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
We have 4 regional chefs, 3 food experts. Let the contest begin.
Like she's got a secret ingredient. Looks like she's not the only one.
This is a tough one, people. It's a tie. All means we're extraordinary. matter where you come from, you can make extraordinary meals every time with Onga. Nigeria, there is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B All-Round Protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
From our wonderful family, meet Smalley, our little one. He's always hanging out with friends. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power-up protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy, Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good.
Hollandia. Yeah, Mom, you are extraordinary. You always go the extra mile to make sure my breakfast is made with extra nutritious Milo. I want to say a big thank you. You are extra precious and extra super.
Milo is thanking moms for being extraordinary by giving the family an extra 50 grams of delicious Milo for every 500-gram pouch bought. Don't miss out. Offer valid while stocks last.
It was a joyous moment for the families of Haro Daura and Ibrahim Bayi as their children Musa Haro Daura and Nana Hawau cemented their relationship. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun witnessed the colorful ceremony at the Sultan Bello Mosque, Kaduna.
Family members, relations and well-wishers, including state governors, former ministers and other dignitaries, converged on the Sultan Mohammed Bello Mosque in Ngwar Sarki, Kaduna, to grace the wedding fatiha of the couple Musa Haro Daura and bride Nana Hawau Ibrahim Bayi. Federal government delegation made up of the Chief of Staff to the President Malam Abba Kyari, Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity Malam Garba Shehu, among other dignitaries, was led by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who represented President Muhammad Buhari. With the presentation of 50,000 naira as dowry by the representative of the groom, Alhaji Muhammad Daura, Imam of the mosque, Dr. Adam Suleiman, performed the wedding rites in accordance with Islamic injunction.
That they should love each other, continue to respect each other, continue to tolerate each other, continue to look after each other's interests. It's very, very important. And the solid base for every marriage is the affection between the two people. And at any given time they have any reason to disagree, they should try to sort out themselves and sort out their issues, because that is the foundation that will sustain their marriage. Bringing in third parties would not help them. So I would want to encourage them that the pulling force that brought them together should keep them together.
Some dignitaries who graced the wedding advised the couple to be tolerant.
We are wishing them well, and we pray that may it be a very prosperous marriage, and may it be blessed with children that will be well guided under Sunnah, and they will live a life similar to their great-grandparents and to all those noble men and women.
Guests who witnessed the wedding fatiha were later treated to a reception.
Congratulations to the newlywed. We wish you all the best. After a hard day's work and you are looking forward to a place to unwind, especially if you find yourself around Lafia in Nasarawa State, you don't have to look too far. Hamza Musa Merkafi is set to tell us about nightlife in Nasarawa State.
Except for light from vehicular movement, when it is dark, it is actually dark because of inadequate power supply by private sector operator. In less than 15 minutes, the distance can be covered between the city gate through the center and exit roundabout to Makadi. To many, nightlife means business as usual, typical of towns and cities in Nigeria. But for others, nightlife is patronizing many spots and options for patrons of mouth-watering suya, roasted chicken and fish. It is wholesome experience.
Lafia is secure. People have rooms and they are very secure. They do what they want to do in their houses. I feel that reasonably 75% Lafia is secure.
You can see people are flexing around, enjoying themselves. Lafia is a lively state. Everybody wants to be in Lafia.
But you can also explore the attraction at the few clubs and places of entertainment in town. The stage is set here for an all-night affair, but for privacy, our camera could not have people on the floor. As the manager says, making people happy while spending their money is key. The industry needs to be jump-started in Nasarawa State to bridge the gap between the people's fantasy and reality.
Lafia is coming up when compared to other highly industrialized states like Port Harcourt, even Kaduna too in the north. We still need more.
I think it's fair, but we need much more than what we have now in Lafia.
Perhaps this is for the government and private sector players to look into and encourage enterprise for economic development in Nigeria.
Lafia seems like a destination to put on your tab. Thanks for letting us know, Hamza. Now, have you ever seen someone dancing on top of a palm tree? If your answer is no, then a visit to Ekajuk in Cross River State will clear your doubts. Just before you plan to make that trip to Ekajuk out of curiosity, Esu Edodi will let us in on her experience when she visited.
The Ajankol traditional dance of the Bansara Ekajuk Ogoja local government area of Cross River State is a rare and abstract dance which is different from other forms of dances. Ajankol traditional dance has a story behind it that match in the theme of the dance. It is a graceful dance where a masquerade climbs a palm tree to the top and mysteriously destroys the palm tree in a few minutes while displaying from the top to entertain his audience.
Man, with that minding that he may fall from there. Quite artistic. Wow! Hands together for him, please. Wow! 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 Wonders shall never end. Jesus Christ. Wonders shall never end. I can't believe this. Imagining how it's going to come down. I know if I can see him coming down comfortably. Come on, shall we put the heads together for that? Please.
The mystery behind the dance, the reveal, is that for the palm tree, it is as good as dead forever.
The masquerade issue there is just to entertain the public so that they will feel fine.
Okay.
It's not miraculous or any magic. It's just a physical practice.
Okay.
They value it by just enjoyment, enjoying the play.
This dance is often displayed during ceremonies like burials, New Year festivals, among others.
That was spellbinding, a little risky, but very entertaining. We're more than halfway gone on the program. We still have more captivating reports in the bag. Watch out for them after this time out.
I feel alive, so alive. When I'm with my best friends, indulging my G exotic. Nothing makes my drink more than when the mixer is delightful G exotic. And after a long day, I wanna relax with the taste of my G exotic. I love the taste of G exotic. I love the taste of celebration.
I love the taste.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste.
I need a product that I can really trust to restore my skin's natural glow.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to restore your natural glow and care for your skin.
Hello, here to pick up your sister?
Mommy!
Mommy? Wow, such beautiful glowing skin.
Reveal your natural glow with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
Introducing new Always Cotton Soft. Its unique top sheet is as soft as cotton and gentle to your skin, offering you comfortable protection as you go about your day. New Always Cotton Soft, available in long and extra long for 250 Naira only.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Welcome back. It is not for nothing that Benue State is tagged the food basket of the nation. Major crops tend to flourish in that state, thereby making farming a major preoccupation of the people. Then the orchards are everywhere, so much that the steady bumper harvest presents a challenge of storing the species of juicy fruits. Consequently, heaps of oranges and mangoes are left to rot every season. But there seems to be light at the end of the tunnel as stakeholders surround the drawing board exploring the possibility of exporting fruits to prevent future losses. Godwin Inalegu reports.
The existence of Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, and Akbera Oshi College of Agriculture, Yandef, in Boku, has facilitated research into the production of different varieties of mangoes and oranges. Statistics has shown that of the 12 varieties of mangoes in the world, Benue State has 10 of the species. In some parts of the state, mangoes and oranges are available throughout the year. However, the peak of production and availability of the fruits is April, where they are produced in abundance. A visit to railway and Wurukum markets in Makurdi indicates that mangoes and oranges are available in large quantities. However, infestation of the fruits before harvest because of faulty farming practice and post-harvest losses are some of the challenges farmers face every year. Azape Priscilla and Msu Giadu are sellers of both fruits at the railway market in Makurdi. They, like other sellers, say the business is worthwhile as it enables them to earn income to meet the needs of their families. They, however, decried the losses they suffer due to lack of processing and preservation facilities in the state.
They can have industry so that when the thing is being like that, we are not selling, they can provide it for another way or doing juice with them.
See, for we will get company to keep those things, even to gland this thing and keep it inside something to stay. All those laws, we don't for no meet the laws like that.
Stakeholders, however, say for the fruits to be exported, they must have good global good agricultural practices certification, which entails good farming practices, processing and preservative measures, as well as packaging.
these things need some preservative period, so that at least after harvesting, it's a shared period. It's a period within which they can stay and somebody who can still use it. So these are areas that I think we'll first and foremost look at.
If we must export fruits and vegetables, Nigeria has to have a national global gas certification process.
There are arrangements for the resuscitation of 2 of the fruit juice companies, one in Kasanala and one in Taka.
If plans fall through, Benue State could very well become the food basket of the world. Now, exotic fruits, including the popular strawberry, abound everywhere in Plateau State. All you have to do is ask, and you will have more than enough. Beyond the pleasure of consumption is the potential for export. Caleb Gokin has the details.
Is it the landscape, the weather, or the people? These are unarguably those potentials combined that make Plateau State unique, resulting in the production of fruits and vegetables that are believed to thrive well only in the state. Strawberry is one of such plants that does well in Plateau State and is cultivated for its fruit, which is appreciated for its unique aroma, bright red color, texture, and sweetness.
The strawberry business is one of the best businesses that I can think of right now when it comes to farming vegetables. Reasons being that strawberry is one crop that after planting, within 2 months you start harvesting. And after those 2 months, you can harvest for as long as maybe 6-7 months based on the weather. Strawberry is one crop that doesn't like rains at all.
Strawberry is a vital ingredient in the beauty industry, with its popular usage in the production of beauty products, while its health benefits are also numerous. With the abundance of this fruit on the plateau, how has it contributed to the development of the state in terms of revenue generation?
Even in the international community, you find out that our products, vegetables, is of highest quality. Especially the strawberry is in high demand, and our people are capable and ready to supply the international community.
How are farmers taking advantage of the potentials in strawberry to explore markets beyond the shores of Nigeria?
For the fact that the awareness is setting in, I'm thinking of expanding. There are other portions elsewhere. I think about 2-3 hectares.
With that inland ports, we'll expand in the production, and we'll export it to even internationally to various countries. But we have a little challenge with the strawberry because of the perishability of the berries. If government can come and collaborate with us, the farmers, and able to assist us in terms of processing, so it will be a great help, so that we can able to export it in larger quantity, and most people will go into the production.
Hawking of strawberries is a common sight on major streets of Plateau State, which is a clear indication that the commodity abounds in the state, waiting for potential investors to key into its cultivation or distribution. So, when next in Plateau State, you do not have to search far to have a taste of this tasty, love-shaped, succulent fruit called strawberry.
Indeed, Plateau State is blessed and fruitful. It is a despicable act that is universally condemnable, yet people still engage in it. More worrisome is the fact that the perpetrators more often than not go unpunished, and victims shy away from speaking up for fear of stigmatization. Still wondering what I'm talking about? Annie Daniels is set to tell us more.
The social and traditional media in recent times have been awash with stories of defilement or rape. Some of the cases are so pathetic you begin to wonder how it could have possibly happened.
People are only paying attention to rape now because we're hearing more about it, and that's because of the
power of social media. I feel like it's something that has always been here. It's always been happening, but we've just not been as vocal.
My interaction with some rape victims revealed that the rapists are people who are closely related to their victims. For instance, the case of 11-year-old Edith, not real name, who was disvirgined and raped by her stepfather at age 6. And some other cases point to that fact.
I was in the room one day, then it came to me. It told me that I was beautiful and said, ow, and it took advantage of me.
I was raped when I was 9 years.
By who?
By my uncle.
What happened?
I was in the parlor and he just came to me and asked me, he said, have you done this before? And I asked him what, and he actually didn't explain anything to me. He just rushed on me, and after that, that's how it happened, and it went on until I was 11.
Oh, there's this particular guy that took me out of the house and told my mom that he's coming back with me sooner or later. So he took me to his place, and I don't really know what happened. But when I saw myself, I was bleeding, like seriously.
Probing further, I asked why they didn't inform their parents or guardians about the incidents. Their responses shocked me further.
I didn't tell my mom because she would never believe me.
Why would she believe you?
Because she loved her husband. Her husband cannot do such a thing.
My parents were not aware of it. I was scared to tell them because he threatened he's going to kill me.
I was just sticking to what he said, not knowing that I was really killing myself.
This is why Jane, who is also a victim of rape, has decided to break the silence.
Sometimes when these rape victims speak up, they tend to be shut down. They tell them, don't say it to anyone. And that is a big problem in our society.
In spite of campaigns by persons and organizations against rape, the act has persisted.
The security agency that is very, very close to the people, to the grassroots, is the police. And at times, when people go to report, there are questions being asked. Are you not ashamed? Can this be treated as family affair? Don't you know that you'll be shamed, you'll be stigmatized? I think that some of them, even within the police, also, they behave well, but will have some bad eggs.
But wait a minute. Is rape a punishable offense under Nigeria's constitution?
Yes, of course there is. Very serious one. If you look at section 358 of the criminal code, the punishment is life imprisonment. Once you can prove that a particular person raped you, it goes for life imprisonment. If it's just a man attempting to rape, the punishment is also there. It's 14 years imprisonment. So there's serious punishment. And of course, you know that there have been a serious advocacy that the government should even amend the law to make it a death sentence.
Respondents prefer the way out of this dehumanizing trend.
I talk to my children in my community. I educate them. I teach myself. I tell them about their rights. And if perchance I have an inkling about a thing like that, then the law should take its course.
Rape will no good for body.
Yes, the way out is to bring perpetrators to book. Otherwise, the crime will continue even with the awareness campaigns. Lagos State is referred to as the center of excellence, and the government wants this slogan reflected in the quality of education. Experts are of the opinion that improving the standard of education must be holistic. Nosa Osula reports.
Lagos State government recently commenced the implementation of its plan to improve quality of education in all state-owned schools with the tour of schools by Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. Immediate repairs and rehabilitation of dilapidated facilities would be the first phase of the plan to strengthen the public schools. The tour was to carry out complete assessments of the facilities to be rehabilitated. However, stakeholders in the educational sector urged the state government to ensure regular review of schools' curricula to accommodate new topics as well as improved welfare package for teachers to improve the educational standard in the state.
In Lagos State, education standard can be improved when the government understands that parents, teachers have a stake in the policy they formulate and also in the implementation of the policy.
Education is not just talking about maybe infrastructure or curriculum. Quality education has to do with a lot of other things outside just that, and the government needs to look into everything that ensures that every child has access to quality education.
Somebody who will be a doctor will need to score about 350 marks before you are allowed to study medicine in the university. But somebody who wants to study education may need to score less than 100. And the problem there is that we are paying more emphasis on health, as if health is the whole thing. There are 90% of people, possibly 90% of us, that will never go through surgery in life before we die. Many of us may not visit hospital and be admitted in the hospital, but there is no single person that will not go to school.
They also called for the provision of adequate and competent teachers by government to facilitate teaching and learning in a more effective manner.
Thank you for that informative piece, Nusa. Recently, a 3-story building collapsed and some people died. Although Amina Abdurrahman survived, she lost her loved ones. How is she coping with the trauma? Zenret Dingmon tells us more.
It was about 4:15 p.m. on Monday, the 15th of July 2019, and for Amina Abdurrahman Nalili, it was a normal day, or so it seemed, as everyone in the house was up to their normal duty. With kids back from school and the sun setting slowly, women were home preparing for dinner, while the pharmacy store downstairs had its regular flow of customers. Amina was in the kitchen like any other housewife, walking towards the day's dinner, and the scene that played out in front of her seemed like something from a movie as she saw the floor of their third-floor apartment gradually sink. Hear her tell us what happened next.
I felt as if I was sinking. I went to the living room and it was sinking. Then I fell. The ceiling fell on me and there was lots of dust. Then help came.
Amina and her husband's younger brother, Hamisu, were lucky to survive the collapse, and contrary to some media reports, members of the family that died are 8 in number.
First, Alhaji Kabiru, my senior brother. Then his daughters, 2. Then they are all married. Even Amina has lost her son, Mus'af, Rukayetu, a daughter of Alhaji Salisu, and not our elder brother. Okay, Rufai, one of our sons, he lost his wife and 2 children.
I just have a call that the house go down like that. So before I reached there, my heart was just been palpitating like that. After I reached, I just saw everything was down. I just couldn't hold myself.
Alhaji Nalili left behind 4 wives and 20 children, among which the oldest is 35. And for them, they miss their father and other family members, but take solace in the belief that it was fate.
It's not God that brings it. We accept it.
And we're trying our best. We take it as an act of God. It's something that comes from God, and we're taking it in good faith.
The rubbles of the building have been cleared as the family slowly rebuild their life in the absence of their family head.
One can only imagine the trauma they are going through. May the good Lord continue to comfort that family. Let's go on our last break. Stay with us. perception that retired athletes are always left to their fate after bringing glory to their fatherland is gradually changing for good, based on the new thinking of key stakeholders in Nigeria. Recently, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria took a step towards assisting a retired athlete in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital. Sinam Bamigboye has a report of an Olympian, Gloria Kemeswede.
Gloria Kemeswede became a household name following the feat performed by her team, which won silver at the Beijing Olympics in 2008. She was based in Australia, but was given employment by the Bayelsa State government in the Ministry of Sports in recognition of her contributions towards sports development in Nigeria.
When they employed her, she's outside the country. So she comes and competes and go back just at the national level.
She comes around, she controls herself, but you know she's not okay. Because she has represented this country, she's made this country proud. I don't think she should be left alone.
Nigerians were startled to learn of her mental health challenge.
She came down from a tricycle with loads of bags, and her situation and all that suggests that there was something wrong. I managed to take a photograph of her and the situation she was.
It was the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, that facilitated her access to medical care from her home in Bomadi, Delta State, to the Federal Medical Center, Yenagoa.
Whether we like it or not, we're all humans. It's just a sad event that this had to happen, and I felt so concerned that I would leave whatever I'm doing to come see her.
Acting Chief Medical Director, Federal Medical Center, Yenagoa, Dr. James Omietimi, confirms that the patient is stable.
The team of doctors in that department have seen her, and they are managing her the way she should be managed professionally. She is quite stable right now, and we hope that in the days going forward, we would even get her to a better situation.
Although no family member could be reached for comments, some have pointed to destabilization in her family setting as a possible cause for the challenge.
Gloria, all the best at this trying moment. Now, what could have made a middle-aged woman, Shakirat Rashid in Ibadan, commit suicide? NTA Ibadan correspondent Larry Bileyi unravels the mystery.
Once upon a time, in all ethnic groups in this country, the thought of suicide was a taboo. What then can we say is the clue behind heart-rending stories of suicide cases that abound and has continued to grow unabated? The recent case of 41-year-old mother of three, Shakirat Rashid, who hung herself at her residence at Awota Akpata area of Ibadan, can now be added to the growing number of these sad cases. Married to her husband, Rashid Bakari, for 11 years as the second wife, the husband is still in shock. He, however, revealed that his wife, a trader, had a running bout on how to pay for a loan which she stood for as a guarantor from a microfinance bank, and became a challenge for her when the guarantee she stood for absconded.
I got a call from one of our friends that she stood in as a guarantor for someone, and it has become a challenge for her. I decided to call her, but she did not pick her call. So I came home and looked for her in all the rooms, only to find her in the store where she hung herself.
So mo agba eyin báyìí wọ́n ní jẹ́ kí n yọjú ní store náà kí n wo bó wà lè wà ńbẹ̀ kí ni ó máa ṣe ńbẹ̀ bí mo ṣe sí aṣọ yẹn báyìí bí mo ṣe bá ti pokùnso nìyẹn.
The members described her as quiet and amiable person who often keeps things to herself.
Àwọn àtẹ̀yìn ò jọ fa ọ̀rọ̀ kankan. She is very friendly and quiet, but she keeps things to herself a lot.
The DPO police station in the area who spoke off camera confirmed that they've received the case and have commenced investigation into the sad development. For the humble, quiet area of Awutan in Akwete, the prayer is such development should never again rear its ugly head.
A sad story. Suicide is not the solution to ending pain. Let's look out for those who are depressed around us and help heal their minds. And this is where we close our book of stories this week. Join us again on Sunday. It will be great, and that's a promise. Thanks for watching again. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Thank you for tuning in. I am Lydia Odije Pochi.
Ignatius Nkwo for Deadline 360.
In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karaye, Deadline 360.
A closer system of government to the people over the years, observers say, has been involved in several.
The Gbagi Adorable Marriage Festival remains a sacred obligation.
For Deadline 360, Justina Etam. Efik language, otherwise known as Iko Efik, is a native language of...
Thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Pochi.
The Lagos Boat Regatta is an annual festival celebrated among the various communities in the 5 divisions that make up the state. The Boat Regatta originates from the Okosi Festival, which is common among the lagoon communities in Ijebu land. It is observed by the people to appease the river goddess Olokun for greater fish harvest and protection against river accidents. The exact date of the origin of the festival in Ekpe is not known. However, sources suggest the people of Ekpe land staged a boat regatta before 1933. The festival is fun-filled with various cultural, sporting, and recreational activities to showcase the life of the people and also to act as a tie that binds the people together. Beautifully adorned boats of various shapes and sizes parade the waters in a fitila procession, showing off different colors depicting the life of the various riverine communities in Lagos. The boats and canoes are filled with traditional and cultural troops moving to the rhythm of the drums and creating a synergy with the rowers, bringing about a colorful spectacle at the same time. As part of the festival, there is a swimming competition where the swimmers are expected to swim across the lagoon from one point to the other.
Wait, stay here. First, Esther, look. Second, third,
The large fishing boats, ferries, and other marine vessels adorned with various colors are not only attractive to spectators, but they make one want to join in the celebration. One of the major highlights is the fact that masquerades usually associated with land are part of the regatta and can be seen dancing to the drum beats on the boats. The fan-filled ceremony is just part of our rich cultural heritage as a nation. Sure, you can't resist the temptation to join in the fun.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Service of the NTA.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, play. That's Terry G, Abby. Okay, Victor Wifo. Victor's Wifo. All right. Okay, so Victor Waifo and I composed that song in 1973 when I had malaria. All right, so okay. All right, so Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Alibaba Seriously. It's a beautiful week. It's a ministerial week. It's the week that all the ministers have been. Have they? No, there's still some. And I want to give a shout out to the minister that has done me most proud, Festus Keyamo.